guys, I'm finally back with a video, and Ellen is playing the background. That's why I'm kind of looking that way. But anyway, I'm back with a video today after being MIA for a while. So it was my birthday last week, and so it turned out to be from Wednesday all the way till Sunday, you guys. My friends were, each day I had some type of birthday related activity, which was so unexpected. I do not even want to lie, because it's not a big year or anything. It was just a normal birthday. So anyway, I was super flattered, and I definitely wouldn't say no to birthday loving. So thank you so much to those of you who wished me a happy birthday, and happy birthday to all my Scorpios, if there's anyone who's a Scorpio watching. Anyway, so in today's video, I will be talking about career-related advice and the things that helped me or have helped me get to where I am in my career. So if you're interested in knowing more, keep watching. In terms of career, it's kind of hard to explain what it is that I do, partly because I'm not in a specific profession. So it's not like I'm a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. I guess supposed to summarize what I do is I work mostly with social organizations, so organizations that are doing some type of socially responsible or good thing for their world. I'm really drawn to companies like that or organizations like that. So that's kind of what my entire career has been about. Within those companies, I tend to be hired to do things like management, fundraising, program design, project design, evaluation, so stuff like that. That's kind of what I do. I recently left my job 2 months ago after being in that role for about 2 years. So I knew I was kind of gonna leave around this time. I knew that when it's the 2-year mark, I want to kind of hand it over to somebody else. So it was a beautiful experience for me. I was leading a national organization that helps young people launch social enterprises. And so that was a lot of fun, and I got to meet so many people, guys. Like, just every single day you go into work and you feel so inspired when you meet people who are actually trying to work on really complicated problems in their community or in the world, and they're using really cool, innovative ways to do it. So I miss that a little bit. I'm still plugged into the community because I do mentor a bunch of projects like that, and I work with them as well. So that was my old job. I left that job, and I'm now doing full-time consulting to pay my bills. And this is consulting that is focused mostly on the same thing that I've been doing all my entire career, which is around, working with organizations that are doing good for the world. So that's been fun. And then while that's happening, I'm also trying to launch working on a special project that I'm not ready to talk about yet. But I promise when I am, I will definitely tell you about it. Anyway, so that's pretty much what I'm up to these days. Many of you know that I love food, and my goal is to make food an everyday part of my life. In terms of starting a business or being part of something that kind of makes that my living. So I will keep you posted on things, but for now, just know that I do consulting for good organizations, and then I also just serve on different boards and committees, or I don't know, I do a lot of volunteering all the time, which is something I love. So in terms of the 3 things that I would say have helped shape who I am and where I am and where I'm going, I kind of summarize them into 3 things. So civic engagement, so really being involved in your community, has been really important to me. Technology, like being a bit savvy about technology, has been really important in my life. And then the last thing is entrepreneurship, because seriously, at heart, that's kind of who I am. So I'll go through each one of them, and then I'll kind of explain what I mean by them. So with civic engagement, to me just means actually caring about the neighborhood, the community, the city you live in, caring about the people around you, and thinking more about what you can do for someone else as opposed to just thinking about yourself. I know that's hard for many people because I know we're all trying to, make a living and supporting our families and that sort of thing. But I think, I personally have never met a great leader or an inspiring leader who doesn't make time for giving back. So giving back, whatever that means to you, I think is really, really important. For me, it is a part of my work. So of course it's easy for me to say, yes, I'm, by extension, I get to volunteer for certain organizations because I'm already in that world. But I do think anyone and everyone can be involved. I live in Canada and we just had our election. Yay, finally. But the coolest thing about the election this year was that we have, for the first time, like 77 women got elected into a member, into the government, let's say. And then, we have half our cabinet ministers are actually women. So this is the first time in the entire country's history that we've had that many women as cabinet ministers. So, I say that because, often we don't really participate in I'm not saying go become a politician, but I'd love it if you did. But often we don't see enough people participating in their communities. So it's up to us to actually get involved. If you care about water, go find a water project that you can participate on. Or if you care about, helping, kids do something, go to that organization or something and find a way to give your time to that, because it's A, inspire somebody else when you do that, and then B, you actually feel really, really good after. You feel so good because you go home and you're like, yes, I actually helped doing this and this. It's a little, I don't know, it feels good. But yeah, so civic engagement is really important, and I'd love it if more people got involved in politics and designing their cities and that sort of thing. Okay, so the next thing on my list is technology. So being tech savvy to me doesn't necessarily mean you need to learn about coding and do everything. In my case, basically taught myself everything that I know about tech. So I'm like most millennials, that's kind of what you do. You want to build a website, you kind of play around with a bunch of things. And I honestly want to tell you guys that nothing is as hard as it seems. So when you see people who are like computer science and awesome people in technology and stuff, you think to yourself, oh my God, there's no way in hell I can do any of that stuff. But the truth is, if I can do it, anybody can. So I know I've been playing around on designing websites and things like that for a couple of years now. And it started off just as a fun thing. And then at some point it morphed into necessity. So because I was co-founding a bunch of projects, I needed to have a website. And so I couldn't pay for someone to do a website. And at the time, actually, not many people knew how to do websites, and except if they're really fancy and only work for important companies and stuff. So I had to figure it out on my own, and that's exactly what I did. These days, the internet has everything. There's so many resources. If you guys want to know where you can learn about some of this stuff online, I would be happy to share if people ask. But there's so much. If you just even YouTube has so many videos on different tools, applications, and stuff like that. You don't have to necessarily learn how to do websites, but I honestly think in this day and age, if you have a basic understanding of tech and basic understanding of how websites work, let's say, I think that will take you far when you're applying for whatever job you're applying for. That's my opinion. And the other thing relating to websites is that, how to use the internet or for research, let's say, or social media, you can actually teach yourself how to do marketing campaigns or familiarize yourself with different tools that people use for in professional environments. So social media has actually become a really, really strong part of everyday work. So you should learn how to do that too. The last thing that I will talk about is entrepreneurship. So again, entrepreneurship is something that's often seen as, hey, you're gonna go start a business, you're too awesome. But no, I think that you can be an entrepreneur and work somewhere. So I think the term is intrapreneur, but to me, I say entrepreneurship because it's the spirit of being resourceful. And when you're, in a situation, rather than just feeling stuck, like think about, like most people, like most of us are really good critical thinkers. Like utilize that brain, guys. I think it's a great skill for people who are, looking for work. If you're looking for work and want to get a good job, usually when people are hiring, and I'm usually in hiring positions these days, when we're hiring for people, we're usually looking for people who are good, resourceful people. Like people who are resourceful trumps like what degree you studied or something. Do you know? Because at the end of the day, most companies don't have time to train people to do every single thing. They want people who are idea generators, people who are coming up with cool ways of saving the company money or the organization money and stuff like that. But that's, to me, an entrepreneurial skill. A creator, someone who's comes up with ideas, that's entrepreneur. Okay guys, so that is pretty much it. Be civically engaged and care for someone else. Be tech savvy, learn a new software or something. You don't even learn how to use Microsoft Excel properly. That's a tech skill. Be tech savvy. And then the last thing, be entrepreneurial. I generate ideas for the place you work, wherever you work. Just be someone who's an idea generator. It will actually make you feel more creative and more inspired too. So yes, guys, those are pretty much all the tips that I have in terms of what are the 3 things that I feel everybody needs to navigate this new workforce or work life. So if you enjoyed that video, please thumbs up and subscribe. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you. Bye.